Welcome to Channel A TV live here at the podcast studio in Seattle, Washington. I'm so excited to have wonderful, wonderful folks that you guys will be able to meet today. Most of you guys always ask me, what does it take to be an actor? What does it take to produce a movie? What does it take to be successful in life? And today we have folks that can help us answer these questions. I know that you guys are excited. Thank you for all your questions and all your curiosity through social media asking questions. But today, this is the day we've been waiting for to make sure that we talk to the folks that make it happen in Hollywood. And so please, if you're listening right now, wherever you are, please tune in, send in our questions through Facebook, through YouTube, and just come along with the journey so you can make sure you learn something today. So I'm so excited to be here. My name is David Chirwa from Channel A TV. If you're trying to connect with us, please visit our social media platforms. It's our Channel A TV everywhere. Also go to our website, www.channelatv.org. So today we're talking about a movie which was produced by my brother Marcus and the whole crew, and it's called Heaven's Revenge. I've seen this movie myself, but I'll let you guys take a look at it just a little bit. It's available on all social media platforms and actually also on Tubi, if I'm not mistaken, but Marcus will clarify that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is Davis here at Channel A TV. Welcome. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Jackson, how it feels to lie to me over and over and over again.
and now every man in the history of men are going to have to pay for a simple breakup. It's pathetic!
You know, I don't think he
Why
would
would
like
you make
that
up a lie
very
like
much.
that and do something like that? But I'm his brother. We brothers, and you know how we get down. I just want to say what's up to him. Just look at him real quick.
All right, and welcome back. We want to welcome those of you that are tuning in all the way from Africa, those of you that are tuning from England. Welcome to the broadcast. And I know this is going to be one of those shows. It's a Monday. We welcome you. Thank you for taking your time. Those of you that are watching from within the United States, we know the game is going on, but you're taking your time to be with us. So we appreciate that. So without waiting too much time, I'm going to welcome my brother here in the feed, Brother Marcus Neil Jamal Hand. How are you, my brother?
I'm doing wonderful, brother. Thank you so much for having us on. It's just an honor and a pleasure, to everyone out there all over the world. It's such a great opportunity for me to get a chance to talk to you all and, just answer some questions, let y'all know what it was like to be a part of such an amazing film.
Absolutely, absolutely. You look good, by the way. You look the same way. The last time I seen you. The last time I saw you was a few months ago. Last year, actually. It feels like yesterday because we
Yeah.
talk almost every week, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Absolutely.
we met at the HAPA Awards last year.
Yes, sir. So you were there in the audience watching me get the award, and after that we had a great conversation, and we've been in touch since. And you were supposed to join me at the Grammys. You slacked out a little bit. You chose something else.
I'm coming to the BET Awards.
Oh yeah. We'll see you. You'll see you. Just a few more days from now. So I'm looking forward. But yeah, seriously, brother. So what does it take to be who you are? Because I know who you are. But please, for the viewers that are watching right now, introduce yourself, because I know that. You're always used to being in front of the camera, but now you're doing the behind-scenes stuff.
Yes,
what
sir.
do you enjoy the most between being in front of the camera or being behind the camera?
Well, I'm going to just be totally honest with you. I genuinely enjoy being in front of the camera. But over the years that I've been in this industry, what I've learned is that you only have so much time.
Right.
So when I got behind the scenes, it was primarily because I have specific goals.
Right.
I do have a creative drive. I'm a writer, I'm a producer, I'm a director. Right. So in order to make sure you get to do the work that you put yourself out to do, that you set yourself out to do, that's why I started writing and producing. In a perfect world, and actually it is a perfect world technically, because I'm not only cast in some really amazing projects right now, but I'm also producing amazing projects. And that allows for me to just guarantee that I'm fulfilling all of my goals and my dreams as an actor.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of us start, doing something. Sometimes we don't understand the destiny. We don't understand where we're going. We just try different things. You started as a wrestler, believe it or not. You look much smaller on camera than you. So, and then, God had a different plan for you. So tell the viewers right now, how did you transition? Because you could have given up easily when, wrestling didn't go the way you wanted it, to go. But you decided to find a different passion. And here we are today. You're producing movies and you're acting and things like that. So how did you, enhance and embrace your destiny, your new destiny, so to speak?
Well, so when I first got into entertainment, wrestling was all I cared about. When it was 1999, I started training while I was in college, Bone Breakers Academy out in Maryland. And I had kind of immediate success. I came to LA in 2000 and was part of a TV series called Urban Wrestling Alliance.
Right.
And that's actually how I met Lenise Adams, who's the executive producer and star of this film. She and I actually played a couple over 20 years ago. And that when we came out here, they put us in acting classes. They kind of, looked at it more as a TV series than a wrestling series.
Right.
And that was like kind of the initial introduction. And after that show, didn't continue to go. It was supposed to be picked up by BET, and it just didn't happen. I started to transition, and thankfully, once I started to promote myself as an actor, I was cast on the last season of HBO's The Wire. I had a feature role as a police officer in several of the last several episodes. And that was really a launching point for me. And I already had every intention of moving back to LA. But I went ahead and did it. And actually, I started when I actually was producing wrestling projects. My first producing project was in 2003. So when I came to LA, I actually picked right up on that, and I was an associate producer for a show about the Wild Samoan family.
Right.
And, unfortunately, that didn't get picked up. It was just bad timing. It was right around the time when reality TV was getting a little more edgy and, more Kardashians versus the Osbournes. So that just told me to just continue to focus on things that are working. It's all about timing. So I never gave up on anything. It was always just finding the right time.
Yeah.
That was always the lesson that I kept learning along the way. So even with wrestling, I still on and off again, get back in the ring. And I just told my son the other night, I think I got a little bit more in me. So you actually need to see me wrestle again.
Don't try him, man. Don't try. You take him to a ring and, we don't want any other result, No, for some of the folks that are watching right now, the interest came from, as you know, we have a very diverse, following. Folks that are wondering right now, if I wake up one day and I'm trying to become an actor, what's the first thing that I need to do?
First thing you need to do is train to be an actor. A lot of people think acting is something that anyone can do. They just think it's a matter of memorizing lines and you
Right.
just come out there. First of all, there's a natural ability that really helps to have, and that's where it may seem like anyone can do it.
Yeah.
But you have to have the structure. You have to have the discipline. It's not just about memorizing lines. It's about embracing the character. You have to become someone else, and it's almost like channeling. I mean, I can be honest with playing this character, Jackson Davis, was one of the highlights of my career, and it's because I was able to connect with that character in such a way. He was a professional wrestler. There's a lot of similarities to him and kind of a younger version of myself. So I didn't feel I was me. And even when I've watched this movie so many times myself, not because I'm in it, but just because I genuinely enjoy the dialogue, the writing. We can thank Miranda Bowden Parker for she did such an incredible job telling the story. And if you're training to become an actor, you have to be versatile. Don't dedicate yourself to any one style of acting. There's method acting, there's all these different styles. Try different things out. It's really helpful in life experience. If you're on the younger side and you're trying to get into acting, just know that the more you know outside of just acting it alone, the more skills you have. They're always looking for real people. In other words, people who have like a range that allows if you're supposed to know how to swim, if you're supposed to know how to jump out of a plane.
So a particular talent that you have, maybe naturally or physically. Yeah, I have something for you. So I have a friend of mine, he lives right there in LA. He's also one of the actors. He does a lot more commercials. And we'll talk about commercials when Robert comes in, because I have some questions for him. But this brother, shout out to Mark Brown. He used to be a lot bigger, right? So he used to be a lot bigger. And most of the, the characters that he played, he was more like aggressive and stuff like that. So the older he became, he was like, man, I don't want to always just be one dimensional. So he lost a ton of weight. But now when he's going for casting, he's given roles that are different from what he naturally can do, right?
Yeah.
So from one producer to the next, when you're casting folks, what do you consider first? I know that we only have a limited sort of time, but I know you can answer this real quickly.
Sure.
What's the first thing that you look at?
When I'm casting, personally, because I have a network, I as a producer usually cast people who I've already had experience working with directly. But what I look for is for someone to kind of, I'm a very visual person. So anytime I write, I always write with somebody in my mind, even if they don't end up getting cast, but they at least shape the character out.
Yeah.
And so when I'm looking for someone to play that role, if it's not going to be the person who I had in mind, is someone who's going to carry kind of a similar element. And thing is, it's not about size or anything. It has to do more with the character themselves and what it is that they're bringing, because you want a diverse cast, and diversity goes across racial, physical, including our ADA community, and wanting to just make sure that the person fits the role, and not in some commercial way when I say that, but in a very personal way of how they would tell that character story.
Absolutely. Very well said. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us right now, we're having a great conversation with Brother Marcus here, and sooner or later he's going to introduce the group. It's a very diverse and interesting group. I was listening to his stories. I was enjoying in a green room when we all the stories. So I can't wait for the folks to meet them and really have a dialogue with them and get to learn about some of the details in the business. Now, you and I know that as a filmmaker, you have a responsibility to tell your story not only as a minority, but also as a man, but as a human being. Why is it important for you to make sure that when you produce a movie, it's very balanced, to make sure that the gender, is considered, ethnicity and things like that? So in this day and era, what are some of the things that you consider the most as you are producing a movie? From what perspective do you tell your stories, whether it's from religion or sports or whatever where do you tap that talent from? Where does that production come from your own perspective?
Well, I think we actually gravitate towards people who, are genuine, who, have integrity, who kind of fit what you're looking for as a representation of
Yeah.
whatever racial group they are in.
Yeah.
I think every movie, every project that can generate an audience, including even just being here on this interview, it's so many people are watching, and we have a responsibility when as filmmakers, as producers, to give people a visual that shapes the world the way we would like to see it if the world isn't that way, so if I'm casting, if I'm doing a project that I have any say so on, absolutely is it important that we have a great amount of diversity. But it's not just, hey, I'm going to pick this person or that person. It's more, I want to find people who are strong representations of whatever their background is.
Yeah. Very well said. Do you have sometimes family members talking about, hey, can you hook me up? I think
I'll be honest, people see what it's like behind the scenes, and they get turned off real fast, because it's and talking again about your aspiring actors out there, you have to truly love this business. I'm sure you could think of somebody who maybe was famous at one time, and you kind of do that. Where are they now? That's very common in this industry. Nothing happens overnight, and success is not forever. We've seen so many stories. I mean, we've just been watching Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and this, very, it's not even about whose side you're taking. It's like you're looking at a very personal situation by people that you would assume have it all together. So there's a lot to this, and whatever level you are on as an actor, this is why it's so important to have that character and integrity and all the balance and having a family or a structure behind you, that a support system that are really going to kind of keep you level, because it's going to be a lot of ups and downs. You can just overnight become a multimillionaire, but at the same time, you can go years without getting anything major and sleeping on a couch or on the floor somewhere. And everyone that truly loves doing this does it regardless of what position they're in. They do it as long as they physically are capable of doing it.
That's right. So we have a lot of questions for you, but in the interest of time, we can't let you go. But definitely, we want to transition on to Peter, who's talked to us about commercials and things like that. But I have more questions for you, and you have something interesting coming up. So stay tuned, Marcus, and just chill and relax. Maybe you can look on the TV and just check the scores of the game, because I know we all. But yeah, so definitely stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Channel A TV. We'll be right back. All right, thank you for joining us. Right now, we're going to bring in a master of commercials. We know that when we watch TV every now and then, we have to take a break and go to some kind of commercial. So let's bring in our brother here, Brother Robert, who's going to share a little bit about the history of his own life and the interest and experience. We are so excited to have you, Robert. It's good to see you, brother.
Nice to be here. Thanks very much. I love it.
All right. So I know it's you love football, you love basketball and stuff like that. So tell us a little bit about who you are, just for the folks that are watching right now. I know who you are, but for the folks that are watching right now, please just briefly share your story and who you are.
Yeah, I've been a working actor for 30 years now, almost, and I've also been a filmmaker. Like Marcus was saying, there are a lot of actors now that are taking the bull by the horns. So I've directed and produced a handful of films. And as you pointed out, a lot of my career has been in the commercial world. Yeah. And I've had the opportunity, you mentioned the game. I did a commercial with Steph Curry a few years back. That was a lot of fun. And I've worked with some great people in the commercial world, and both athletes and actors. I just did a commercial with Eugene Levy of Schitt's Creek, and I can say that since that is the name of the movie.
Right.
The name of the TV show, Schitt's Creek. But I really love this business, and I love what Marcus had to say about I think you've got to really love it, because there's a lot of hurdles, but when you're working, it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just the networking aspect of things that comes with the business itself. I was watching you with Brother Ernest going back and forth, and you guys were talking about, how many years you've put into the business, and the friendship that you created over the years, So talk about just what's been some of the most difficult things that you had to overcome to become a person that we see today.
Yeah, well, I love that guy, by the way. Ernest and I've been at it for a long, long time, and I think I really do think the hardest part is the in between. Michael Caine, the British actor, said that you really, actors are compensated more for the in between time than the actual time that they're working.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. It's you finish a job, and you got to get that next job, and even at the celebrity level, it's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
And so I've been grateful that over the years, I mean, I've had the chance to work with Steven Spielberg twice. In the commercial world, I've had a lot of directors that bring me back, and producers and casting people. And kind of as Marcus talked about, you want to work with people you enjoy working with, but you also got to deliver. I mean, and so I'm grateful that I have both a fun working relationship with these people, and also what I consider a friendship with a lot of them. And I think my one of the best tools in my toolbox is improvisation. And I think if you can perfect that as an actor, especially in this day and age, because so many films are not now shot on 35. Like my first two films that I directed were shot on 35, and you're worried about film. You're thinking, no, just get the script down. But now with the luxury of digital, you can play around a little bit.
Yeah. And even that's the ability of shooting something, you can review it right there and then erase it and do it right there and then. Back in the day, it was a whole different beast, altogether. So let's talk about things a little bit more technical. You back in the day, most folks could not afford to get a black magic, for example, not even to get the black magic, but even a RAID. You could not afford to get a RAID. For someone who's watching right now, some of these kids who are picking up the camera, they pick up a Canon 6D or 5D, where do you think, what would you say to someone who has a limited budget? Say they have $10,000, they're trying to produce a documentary or if any sort of film, what can somebody do with that small budget?
A lot. I mean, I would say, I wish I knew what camera we used on Heaven's Revenge, but I know it was
Blackmagic, I believe.
Yeah, I think, So you have access. I mean, you still have to light them well. You still have to, you still have the same process of lighting and actors hitting their marks and so forth. But it's amazing that you can go out and shoot a movie for next to nothing because the cameras are available. And Blackmagic, to me, you could probably hold, if it's shot well, lit well, you could probably hold a Blackmagic or a Red up to a 35, and you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference if it's lit well.
That's right. And now even with a cell phone, I've seen kids in school producing amazing, quality stuff, and it's just amazing that. But the passion has to be there, like you said in the beginning. So you love what you do.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're exactly right. And with the pandemic especially, a lot of actors were confined to shooting self tapes on their phone. And you'd be amazed at the quality, of a self tape on a phone. I mean, these newer phones are terrific. So
even under low light, they can still produce something that you can see. Yeah. So I want to ask you this. Talking about commercials. You worked on a project with Steph Curry, the great Steph Curry. I can say best on the previous game. I don't know how he's doing now, but he's very, very talented. So. Where do you go, mind-wise when you're working with such, sometimes, because, most people ask me this too, because I work with a lot of celebrities, but sometimes, you meet someone who you really never thought you could get a chance to meet, Who have you ever worked with? Where you just kind of like, you have to remind yourself like, hey, I'm here to work, without really being starstruck.
I think the biggest movie was Ocean's 11 because
Ocean's
Ocean's 11 was just so star-studded.
Yeah.
But Steph Curry. What was funny about that spot was because I have to play a guy that has no idea who he is. If
Okay.
for those of your audience who haven't seen the spot,
Yeah.
I'm working in a cafeteria and I'm serving curry, chicken
Right.
curry.
Chicken
And
curry.
Steph comes in and says, "Hey man, thank you for serving that curry." I lace up my shoes for guys like you, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I have no idea who you are,
Yeah.
and I of course did. But it was fun to and he was very funny too, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of these athletes are kind of natural actors.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had the great fortune of let's say Ocean's 11 was a big film.
Yeah.
I worked on Lincoln. I worked on I will say on Lincoln, Daniel Day-Lewis, you may know this already, is a total method actor.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
you don't ever acknowledge him outside of President Lincoln or
Yeah.
whatever.
Absolutely.
And he lives it entirely. And I also got to work with and go out to dinner with Tommy Lee Jones, who's a
Yeah.
pretty cantankerous guy. I was intimidated by him, but I realized that there's a wit underneath this kind of cranky guy, and he was really cool, really cool.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool, man. Ocean's 11, man, that's a legendary movie right there. So when your day comes, when it's all said and done, how would you like to be remembered?
I would like to be remembered as someone who brings truth to his work, and someone who I've always admired character actors and leading actors who, made the film better. Whatever, it starts with the writing, but that I would be given a pat for being true to what was written and what my role called for, and for somebody who again just brought a believability to it and helped tell that story, because I think films are all about my favorite films are those that I'm entertained and I'm also educated. I walk away thinking, wow, that's something to think about.
Absolutely.
Even if it's comedy, even if it's comedy.
Absolutely. No, you're so right, man. I can talk to you all day, but I know that you're going to stick around until the end so we can all have a conversation. I'm sure you're excited to see some of your fellow cast from the movie Heaven's Revenge, and, just like old times, talk about what it took and the time that you spent together just making the film. So I appreciate you for being here.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you live in the Seattle, Washington area, we have the Madaraka Festival coming up in August 13th and the 14th. There'll be a lot of good singers, a lot of celebrities. Please look into that. Put it on your calendar if you want to join, the production of Madaraka Festival and enjoy the actual festival. Please reach out to One Vibe Africa and they'll give you the information that you need. I am so excited for this next lady who's coming up. Joanne is incredible. I can't wait for you guys to talk to her. She has a lot of talent, a lot of stories, a lot of fun stuff to come. Joanne, my friend, welcome. It's good to see you. You look lovely, by the way.
Thank you so much. You're pretty good looking yourself, Davies.
Hey, man, I have to keep up with you guys. So, I have to represent myself well. So how are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me on. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm just happy to meet with the cast that I haven't seen so many of them in quite a while. So this is a good day. This is a good day.
Technology, right? Technology. So yeah, I like the way you showed up here. Folks that are doing your lights and everything. It just kind of reminded me like they have behind scenes stuff, right? Like fixing your lighting.
Like behind the scenes, it's old school, and I need to get some help. I don't mind saying I'm technically challenged.
Right.
But I'm also wise enough to know when I need to get some help. So
Absolutely,
Shout
absolutely.
out to my
No,
cousin Brandon for helping me.
absolutely. No, you're welcome. Technology. So, let me tell you what happened. And I know that some of the folks are listening behind the scenes. So, there's always craziness happening. So somebody was on the post, they're just commenting different crazy stuff, nothing to do with what we're talking about, right? Just,
Mhm.
but the beauty of technology is that I had to block, who the person that was. They're posting some other commercial stuff about Tinder and things like that.
Okay.
So real quickly, I did that within 10 seconds, so that's the beauty of technology. So it's
Okay.
not so bad, so you
Good.
gotta love technology, Joanne,
Good. Good. Well,
All
I'm
right.
happy to be here, and I just want to I
Yeah.
want to piggyback on something that Marcus said about
Yes.
success in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I didn't start acting till I was in my mid 60s. I
Absolutely.
actually moved here from Houston, Texas when I retired from the airlines.
Hmm.
So acting was not on my radar at all. I was planning to travel. I actually came here to help my son out who was acting and
Yeah.
writing and producing. Um, I just kind of fell into acting by accident. I just happened
Right.
to be in the right place at the right time, and that was at Troy Skinner's acting school. I just went there because I was bored, and they put me to work.
Stay right
They
there. Stay
actually
right there.
made
You
me
went
run
there because
scenes.
you're bored. You went there because you're bored, and now
No,
you've
I
won.
was bored. I had moved here. I was in my 60s. I didn't know anybody. My friends were
Wow.
my son's friends. I'm adventurous.
Oh
So
my
one
goodness.
day I was bored. I wanted something to do. So I went to this acting school and they made me work. It's like,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. So
Do
I
you
just
regret?
kind of
Do you
fell
regret?
into
Bro?
this.
Do you regret?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely
Okay.
not.
Just making sure.
I think Choice really like created a monster because
Yeah.
you can't tell me I'm not A-list. I haven't been in all those A-list movies yet. They're coming.
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of Troy Skinner, who's my acting coach,
Uh-huh.
happy birthday, Choice. I love
Happy
you.
birthday to you, Troy.
Yes.
So
So
you always gonna be an
actually,
A-list for
that's how
me.
I met Marcus is
Yeah.
through, he saw me do some work and he told me when we did the Black League of Superheroes that he
Right.
had me in mind as a character. I didn't know anything about it. He actually
Yeah.
pictured me in that role. So, thank you, Marcus, for always, looking out for me.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up being in Heaven's Revenge,
Yeah.
playing his Aunt Virginia.
Absolutely. Now,
So
Joanne, you and I were talking. Sometimes we don't choose what character to play, right? But for you, if you are given the opportunity to choose your own character, what kind of a character would you play?
I am a history buff, Davies.
Hmm.
So I am looking for that historical figure.
Yeah.
I study history, I read history, I go to, I go to different places.
Yeah.
Because I love history, I love the culture of different ethnicities and different
Yeah.
countries. And I really enjoy that. So far, I haven't had that historical character. It's
Yeah.
coming. It's coming, and I just need to make sure I stay prepared for that. But
Yeah.
I played a pretty diverse group of people in the films that I've been in
Hmm.
so far.
That's
I
good.
played
So,
a homeless woman. I played a sassy, sexy grandma,
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and I played a schizophrenic.
Right.
I played different
Characters.
roles,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's all exciting to me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, obviously, being a lady yourself, a classy lady, so to speak, in actuality, you know, what would you say to someone? Because right now we know that women need to be involved in the industry. First of all, if you look at the history, we used to say actress, right? But
Right,
now it's just actor, everybody, because everybody's the same. You understand that, right?
right,
So,
right.
from your perspective, what do you think needs to change in Hollywood to make sure that women are given more of a role, both behind the scenes and in front of the camera as well? So, what needs to change from over the years, being involved into the scene? What do you think needs to change to improve the platform? We're getting better, but we're not there.
Unfortunately, I don't think doors are just going to automatically open up for us. So
Mhm.
I think we have to just we just have to push those doors open ourselves,
Right.
I didn't plan on this. God had a different plan for me than I have for myself.
Mhm.
And I think one thing you need to do is you need to have faith in yourself. You need to have faith in yourself and your talents and your value, whatever industry it is,
Mhm.
whether it's acting or some other venue. Believe in who you are and go for it. Don't be afraid.
Mhm.
Be who you are. Be your authentic self, and don't be afraid to pat yourself on the back.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to let people know I'm here, I'm talented, I have value, I have passion.
Yeah.
And that is, speaking of passion, that's one thing I bring to my roles. I bring passion to my role. I try
Absolutely.
to really be respectful of the character. I try to be respectful of the writer, the director, and my acting partner. I have a responsibility,
Yeah.
but that's across the board in anything you do in life. Give it 110%. In school, I was never happy with being a B student. I wanted to be an A student. In fact,
Yeah.
I wanted to be an A plus.
So you cannot be an A-lister, a D-lister, or a B-lister in this case, because you've always been
Well,
an
I am
A-lister,
an A-list actor. Just because the rest of the world doesn't know it yet doesn't mean I'm not there already.
You are
I believe in
hilarious.
myself, and I think people need to just go for it. Several of my
Yeah.
friends have started businesses after retirement in their 60s,
Yeah.
and we're all doing well. And it's funny, we're just amazed at what everybody else is doing. We're proud of each other for going with it, for saying,
Yeah.
I'm retired, but I'm not gonna sit home on the couch watching TV. I got
And
things to do.
watch the world pass you by, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So be strong, go for it. Women, if opportunities don't open up for you, make your own opportunities.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
make your own opportunities.
I love that. So
Yeah.
you won a lot of awards over the years. Which one stood out? I know all of them are important to you, but which one stood out to where you were like, oh my God, I'm really here. I've made it. So which one stood out and why?
Okay, I did a short film, Maggie,
Yeah.
written and directed by P. Chanda Dubose. And it started as a live video during the pandemic.
Hmm.
And I did play a schizophrenic homeless woman. It was a one-woman show, and we got a lot of positive feedback. So we turned it into a short film. It won numerous awards. I won several awards. I won a Best Actress award. Um, but what I was most proud of playing Maggie was not what I brought to the character,
Yeah.
but the awareness of the homeless situation.
Mm.
I'm very passionate about that because I live in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I
Yes. Yes.
can't drive 5 minutes without seeing a homeless
Ah,
person. And unfortunately, a lot of people assume that homeless people are alcoholics or they're on
mm,
drugs or, they're messed up in the head. Sometimes they're messed up in the head because they're homeless.
correct. Correct.
A lot of times they fall on hard times,
Mm,
jobs, family, whatever. You don't know what someone's story is. And reality is that a lot of people in Los Angeles, at least, they're just a couple of paychecks away from being
oh,
homeless.
absolutely. That's
You
everywhere.
can't
That's the
afford to
whole
fall
United
behind
States.
in LA because it's very hard to catch up. So
Yeah.
that is that's one of the things that I'm most I shouldn't say that I'm most proud of, because I'm proud of all the work and I'm proud of all the directors that have honored me by casting me. Um, but that's my first one where I really felt a need to give everything to that character. But I have
Absolutely.
other movies in the books that I'm working on. I worked with Troy Skinner, who I love, and we've got a movie coming out, A New Life, that I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
Another movie I did, Once Upon a Lifetime, by David Skato, and just beautiful stories by beautiful people, independent filmmakers.
Yeah.
I fully support, and
Absolutely.
I look forward to seeing, what else is coming. I'm also with my son James, co-producing his story, American Ronin. So
Yeah.
I've got a few things on the books, but I am going to get some travel in there because I did retire from the airline.
So you still have a lot of miles to
Yeah,
go.
I got to spread those wings.
There you go. There you go. If you have more miles, you can push them over here too, because I always travel. So you know what that
Yeah.
means. Well, Joanne, listen, you're an A-lister to all of us, and I'm sure all these cast that I've had the opportunity to work with you, they can agree, right?
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I'm honored. I'm
Yeah.
honored. I'm
Thank
honored to
you.
work with everyone that I've worked with. And ladies, don't let age stop you. You get out there and do your thing, honey.
Amen, amen, amen. And Joanne, we can talk to you all day, all night, but hang tight so we can bring you with the rest of the folks. So we're standing by to have a great conversation with our brother Ernest as we transition into the next stage. Stay tuned to be right
ladies.
back. Oh, you're welcome.
Eventually, somebody is going to find me. Your ass is going to jail.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, don't we?
Heaven? Hey, that you? Hey,
Hi, Fred. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I would ask the same about you. I still see you wearing that golden smile.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see you two worked it out.
Yeah.
I told that man he was a fool. I mean, a fool for letting you slip through his hands. He was so distraught he wasn't in his right mind when you two broke. Well, you know what I mean.
Fools do foolish things. Good to see you.
Yeah, like you said that, like the movie, Crazy Stupid Love. I've never met a man that haven't made a mistake that didn't cost him his life, especially one in love. Half the men I know are locked up because of some stupid. I don't want to be negative about women, I'm sorry, but you know what I mean. I knew you two would work it out in no time. Y'all make a beautiful couple. Y'all really do, and everybody knows it. Just glad to see you two worked it out. So
Thank you.
How's our guy?
He's resting. It's a tough process, but he's okay.
I'm still so shocked all this happened. You ain't shocked? Like, I'm just glad they said he was gonna survive. Really.
Absolutely. Well, Jackson, he won't give up easy.
All right, welcome back. If you're joining us right now, we're having a great conversation with all the cast from Heaven's Revenge, the movie, which is available right now on Tubi. You go out there and watch it if you haven't seen it. It's an amazing movie. So I have the privilege and honor to bring in our brother here, Brother Ernest. It's good to see you, my brother. I know you don't love technology, but you gotta use it. You have no choice. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. And my name is Ernest Hardin Jr.
There you go. There you go. They know you now. Now they know. They'll look you up now. They'll know.
Yeah.
First of all, I noticed that the Detroit Lions logo on your shirt. Are you a super fan of the Detroit Lions?
I am a long-suffering fan for the Detroit Lions. My father was a Detroit Lion fan, and I am a Detroit Lion fan, and my son is a Detroit Lion fan. Three generations of complete loss. We've never sniffed a Super Bowl, and as we were talking about before, there was a little joke that is going on. That they say that the guy from Detroit died and went to heaven, and there was St. Peter's at the gate and saying, well, you haven't been that good. So I don't know if I can let you in. But he says, but I'm a long-suffering Lions fan. And he says, yeah, you suffered long enough. Come on in, Lions fan, of course. So it's been something, but every year we just hopeful, and even when we had someone like Barry Sanders, who was like but they didn't put the team around him, and then took some of the line away, and then he just quit. He said
that was it. Yeah, he was done.
Yeah, and we had the what is his name?
Metron.
Megatron, yeah.
Yeah, he quit, and so I mean, they're by themselves trying to do. The only thing that's really good is this
Yeah.
year they traded the quarterback
Yes.
to the Los Angeles Rams.
Right. And
So we rooted for him,
Well,
and he won the Super Bowl this year. He's
right.
actually the Super Bowl champ now.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so
yes.
that's how that we're living through him.
Man.
That's our Super Bowl.
Listen, brother, I can relate to that. I was there at Super Bowl. I saw it with my own eyes, so I know I was there because we love comeback stories, right? So, and even up to now, when we look at it, like you say, you're living through him. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm glad for him. He deserved it. He never complained. And he always went to work, and he was very good. But again, they didn't surround him with a winning team, and so I was glad that they gave him a shot to get around a good team that won the Super Bowl. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, I cover a lot of all these NFL teams, so but as a human being, I live in Seattle, so obviously,
I know. As a matter of fact, one of my best friends, his name is Rod Long, he's a comedian, and he lives in Seattle. And he talks about he's hurt now because you guys traded
Russell Wilson,
and so it's like a jilted girlfriend because he hears all the good stuff that Denver is planning on doing with Russell Wilson. And another thing that you guys had the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah, the song is don't even go there.
OKC, and so he was never happy about their good fortune with Kevin Durant and everybody. Just like breaking up with a girlfriend that and then seeing her doing well with somebody.
Man, we've suffered too, man. I'm telling you, we've suffered too. I was at the game, the last Sunny game when Kevin, they won. Actually, they played, I guess, against the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken. It was a final game, one of those. But anyway, I've suffered enough. I had to get to a point where I told myself I cannot allow my emotions to take over like this.
Right.
So guess what? When I'm on the field and I'm doing my thing, I just focus on what the camera is saying. I do my stuff and I go home because I can die early.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I tell him. I say, you're too sensitive. You're just too sensitive. He used to be in LA as a comedian, and but the slings and arrows and all the lies, and because this business can be pretty dirty at times. And he was trying to make it. He had to go back home, but he started to hook up with cruise ships, and so he started to do that. And he's traveled all over the world continually doing comedy on those cruise ships. So
wonderful. Wonderful. Let's talk movies a little bit, and I know that we can go back and forth. The whole football thing is excruciating, man. I
was just happy about my shirt. That's how I got it.
That's how we found ourselves over there. Absolutely. But it's good to see you. It's good to have you with all the experience that you have. How long have you been acting?
I've been acting close to 45 years, 40 years, 45 years. I've been acting basically all my life, actually.
All your life.
I was doing it when I was one time there was in elementary school. Now this is really deep.
Yeah.
The stars aligned for me. I come from like a tough city, Detroit, and all they care about is the factory and making cars, and any job that you had, you were related to the factory. But I was fortunate enough. My parents are from Atlanta. They were both educated. My father went to Morehouse. My mother went to
in Atlanta,
and they met there. Father went to a little stint in the Army, then came in with the GI Bill, moved to Detroit.
Right.
But nobody there really cared about theater. It was about singing, Motown.
Right.
Everybody was on the corner singing, trying to be a part of that. And you see Stevie Wonder, you see the Temptations driving through your neighborhood. It was a deep time.
Yeah.
Well, my father wanted to be a great orator, and he admired Martin Luther King, and so one day our science teacher gave us a book to read sections of a book and bring it back to class.
Yes.
And having kind of gone over it and tried to read it in front of the class, and we all had sections. Well, my father heard me kind of going over the book, and he said, "No, feeling into it.
you want to be a great orator. You want to be, and so instead of, just me just reading it as the steel fell into the pit and it
Right.
was very hot and da da da. It was like
Theatrical.
inertia is the property
Right.
of matter
Right.
that remains in uniform motion
Mm.
unless acted upon by an external force. And,
Wow.
and my teacher said, wait, man, hold on, stop
Yeah.
that. Do that again.
Yeah.
And I did it again. And then they brought the principal in. And she
Really?
said, listen to this. And I read it for the principal. And he said, we kind of going to direct you toward theater. And that's how it was from even elementary. So I started being in the plays. I got in plays in junior high and high school. I had no desire to do anything except I love sports and I played a lot of basketball. My best friend, who actually had a pro career, his name is Ralph Simpson.
Uh-huh.
He had a pro career. He ended up being in the pros. He was 6'5", but gifted shooter. And he was cool with Spencer Haywood. Spencer Haywood, I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
But
Of
Spencer
course.
Haywood is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
We all went to the high school. Spencer was a little older, but Spencer went on to become in the Hall of Fame at the NBA. As a matter of fact, that show Winning Time is they portray Spencer in that show because at one point he was part of the Lakers. So our high school, all that came from our high school. So I love basketball, but I was always in the theater. So afterwards, toward the end of high school, my father, I said, well, I had a partner, and I said, he wanted to be a comedian and go around and work in Detroit as a comedian.
Yeah.
And my mother was, she was not hearing that. What? Going to clubs and whatever? No, you're going to go to college.
Yeah.
So, and so my friend went to New York. His name is Herbert Rice.
Yeah.
He actually started doing well in New York. He was writing for Saturday Night Live a little bit. Then he ended up, he got in a piece in a movie, which is still a classic movie called Apocalypse Now. He had one scene that kind of stopped the movie.
Wow.
But I went on and then went to Michigan State University.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through that and graduated with a degree in theater. I just stuck with it that way. Then went to New York and struggled and suffered and was homeless, the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole nine,
Yeah, but ended up, I got a break in a movie called 3 Days of the Condor. I don't even know if you were born then, but that was like in 1975 it was released, but 1974. Well, you were in your front yard probably. That's okay. We can't ask when to be born, you know what I mean? But with Robert Redford, and I am the last name on that credit, teenager. So it gave me my Screen Actors card.
Yeah.
And from there, and it was funny, I had a nice relationship with Robert Redford, and Faye Dunaway was also the star of that movie. And that movie became a classic. And then I started with my Screen Actors card. I was doing small roles in different movies, like The Front with Woody Allen. I was in Taxi Driver, small role where I was throwing eggs at the car.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
You did it. Work.
Yeah.
And then finally, I got a screen test for that movie, Apocalypse Now. And there was two people on the plane. They had picked us from New York to run for this character.
Yeah.
They flew me out here, and there was this other guy. It was me and this other guy. Oh, I thought I was going to get the role.
Yeah.
But the other guy was named Lawrence Fishburne. I don't know if you might have heard of him.
Of course. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Well, the rest is history.
Are you serious?
I can see it. I remember it like yesterday.
Wow.
I would sit in the waiting room, and the guy brought us all out there to L.A. That was the first time me being in L.A. And the guy would, and I would, Lawrence Fishburne would do his audition first and come out, and Francis Ford Coppola would have his arm around him. Oh, that was so good. That was so good. Next. So it was like I knew I didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
But I thought I took that. I had been doing a small. I had a little TV series for the Math Channel, in New York, and I took my little money and said, well, I need to come out here and get some more film on myself. And then I go back to New York, maybe hopefully get on Broadway, whatever, and have significant roles because I'll have a little bit more, be more visual. Well, I got out here and I was lucky. I got a Coke commercial, and then I got the Jeffersons.
Oh,
now,
yeah. Oh, my
but
God.
it was just one show.
Yeah.
And where
Open up the
I
doors.
played a guy named Jason King, who gave George Jefferson a scroll because he had helped the help center that Louise Jefferson was working at. And so I gave him a scroll. Well, the producers liked that so much. They called my house before the show was even aired and said, we think we want to give him a series.
This is why, as you continue, brother, this is why we love to interview people, because when I see you, when folks see you, on a small screen, a big screen, they don't understand the struggle, that you have to go through to be who you are today, because you always have a smile on your face and they don't know the pain and the suffering, like you say, that you have to go through to be who you are. But continue on. I know in the interest of time, we're almost running out of time, but
I'll skip through, but the Jeffersons, it turned out well for me. The rest is history. I did it 4 years as a character, Marcus Henderson. Now you got Google if you're too young. And I did that, and then went on, and from there I had national notoriety. So I started working a lot. Started opposite Betty Davis in a movie called White Mama. Betty Davis. I'm the only one to ever star opposite her, the only black man to have her as the leading lady. And then I went on, and I've been in like at least 60 movies. I have a White Man Can't Jump. This is our 30th anniversary, 30th year anniversary. And I had a lead in that. And also I have one now called Sweetwater I'm doing. It's about the first black to be signed in the NBA.
Absolutely.
And this is a period piece done in the 50s, early 50s, late 40s. And I'm playing his high school coach, Sweetwater Clifton. If you Google him, you'll realize he signed for the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
And then I have some other things I just real quick. Like Each End of the Bowls. Again, I'm in one of her films as well. It's a film that's going out and it's really winning a lot of awards right now. And that's called Bus Stop. And he directed it, and it's really getting a lot of publicity and play. And so staying busy, and I'm really happy about this Sweetwater. I think if next year you'll start seeing it's for Warner Brothers, so you'll start seeing the
anytime you have the notoriety of the Warner Brothers, then everybody's like paying attention.
You'll see basketball season next year. You'll start seeing all the commercials. And
that's good. That's
Richard Dreyfuss is starring, and I have a good role in it too.
No, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate all your passion, looking through, your history and what you've gone through, just to be here. It's amazing. I think we need, if the rest of the cast, agree, we need to do, a part 2 or something, because I know there's so much information that
God is good, man. Just all that. And Marcus even said it. It'll be up and down and many times, but you feel like you want to quit, but don't. And that's just what I can tell anybody, believe me. Because
absolutely. So I don't want to let you go until I get this out of you. For someone who's watching you right now and they feel discouraged and they're thinking, oh man, it took him 40 years to get to where he is. What would you say to someone who's thinking, that's too long? I don't think I have the stamina to wait all that long. What has changed over time that you can advise?
Well, let me just tell you this. I didn't stop living, but I got I started getting success. Way before 40 years, I got success. And I was in my 20s. I was 21 when I got to Jefferson's. So it can happen a lot quicker. I just didn't die. I just continued and continued to work. It's a work in progress. I'm a work in progress right now. I'm a part of a group called the Actors Studio. And even though we present scenes there, they never say, oh, yeah, that was great. No, they say, that was a nice rehearsal. They never want to say it's a finished product because you're always growing. You're always striving to be better.
Man, I love that. I love that, man. I can't wait to speak to you again as we bring you back with the rest of the cast. I know that time is not on our side, but we're trying to prolong it as much as we can so we can get everything out of everyone as much as we could. But I appreciate you, man. Keep up the good work. When I look at your body of work, I was going through your IMDb and I'm like, oh man, all these names of folks that you've worked with, it's incredible. But just briefly, how was your experience working with folks on this project, Heaven's Revenge?
They were great. They were so respectful, and I love them. And I watched the movie a couple of times. I was have to take a deep breath because, boy, it makes you a little bit afraid of getting into a relationship. I play the niece's father,
right?
But I have to question one thing.
Yeah,
the father left the family,
uh-huh.
but her mother,
Right.
the mother was the one that was sort of the culprit that drove the father away. He loved the young girl. I just never quite understood. But then why would she have such a bad taste in her mouth about men? Even if
right. A lot of people can relate to that, though.
She was beautiful.
Yeah.
Just get another guy.
No, but I wish it was that simple, though. And that goes both ways too. Because even for us, sometimes you could have all the money, you could have all the, the looks, but
I can see it. I can kind of see it if she was homely. Not to say, you say, oh well, boy, I was lucky to get this guy. I'll never get anybody else. But hey, you walk outside looking like that, you're gonna have a lie.
Yeah. But
that's just my. I don't know. Obviously, it's a lot deeper than that.
Yeah. No, I got you. For me, I was watching the movie and I'm thinking, oh, Marcus is about to die. I'm waiting for you to. I was ready for him to die because always they kill the brother has to be killed somehow. So I was waiting for him to be done. But it was a good ending. I love the movie. So we're gonna transition on. When we come back, we're gonna get the chance to speak to. We have a couple more folks that are waiting in the back end here. So we'll bring in Sean. And please hang tight with us. We'll be right back, and we want to talk so you can meet the rest of the cast. I know you haven't seen each other in a while now, so stay tuned, and thank you for being here.
Hey, no, thank you for having me.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Davies Chirwa, live here at Channel ATV. We are having a great conversation with the cast from the movie Heaven's Revenge. Everybody's based in LA right now, but they are in different locations, and this brother is actually moving. So we're gonna bring him in. Brother Sean, it's good to see you, man. How are you doing, sir?
Blessings. Thanks for having me. How you doing?
I am doing wonderful. You got a lot of technology, right? You had a little bit of a challenge there, but you made it.
Yes, sir. We got to show up. There's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely. So I know that you're naturally gifted. You can act, you can produce, you can do all types of stuff, but what's your story? If somebody's tuning in right now, what do you want them to know about you?
All right, my story is deep rooted in a rich soil, man. I come from South Jamaica, Queens, born and raised New York City.
Okay.
Raised amongst the legends, the game changers in hip hop, like Run DMC. They call me the nephew of hip hop, due to the fact that my uncle Larry Smith was the producer of Run DMC, Beastie Boys, Fat Boys, Curtis Blow, Beastie Boys, on the list goes on. So me having that firsthand experience, getting it firsthand, that's what rubbed off on me at the age of maybe I'll say 11, 12. I was watching Run DMC in the other room record Raising Hell, the album. So you can imagine what that's doing to a kid, because that was
of course,
that was like the Beatles in the hip, in the music business back then. So
That's cool, man. That's cool. So, what are your thoughts? Because when you move from the East Coast, New York specifically, you move to LA, it's a whole different game. You know what I'm saying? Just, the way people look at life, it's kind of the same, but it's different. You know what I'm saying? Hollywood is a whole different beast.
Yeah.
but being also raised, on the streets, like you said, where do you get the passion and the motivation just to change with time? Because as we know, over the period of time, technology has changed. The way movies are produced has changed. All these things are changing. So how have you adjusted yourself from, growing up from the streets like that, and also having a lot of success in your family and looking at folks that are successful to where you are now?
Basically, well, to go back to what you said, when I left New York City, I moved to Atlanta.
Okay.
I moved to Atlanta in like 96, 97.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
when the hip hop scene was growing in Atlanta.
Right.
Atlanta really didn't have their sound.
Yeah.
You had one group like Outkast,
Yes.
even though they had booty shaking music back then, but I was in the forefront in Atlanta when
Yeah.
Freaknik first hit. That whole scene just burst, and I was there breathing life into it. And was blessed to get a job working with Keith Sweat. Keith Mitchell from After 7 became a writer, ghostwriter.
Yeah.
And started pursuing my career in music then. But I always had the passion before then, just never really to be in front of the camera like that, because I came from it. So I was always up close and around it.
Right.
So just being there, I was already a part of hip hop. I was already a made man at a young age.
True.
It just took when the passion really grew on me is when my cousin, Mr. Cheeks, salute from the Lost Boys, they started doing the park jams.
Yeah.
And he was one of the main ones that inspired me. I gotta give him that. Just seeing that crowd control and the way they, channeled, the parties and had everybody else on that same wavelength and accord.
Yeah.
That's where I fell in love with music, and I became a writer.
Yeah.
And then I started DJing. Jam Master Jay, watching him DJ all the time. I remember asking him, I said, "Yo, Jay, can you show me how to transform?"
Right.
And we were in Larry Smith house in Hollis down there, and I forgot. I'll never forget. He showed me how to transform.
Yeah.
From there, I became a DJ. I used to make blend tapes in the hood in South Jamaica, Queens, South Ozone Park. They called me S1.
Yeah.
That was my DJ name. So I got inspired, just full of passion back then, just being around the whole music scene.
The whole industry.
Yes. And then when I left Atlanta, I said, you know what? I done all I could do here. You know what I'm saying? I moved from Atlanta in 2004, came to LA. I said, I'm gonna try this acting thing. And the acting thing came, that didn't even come, that wasn't planned. I was coming out here to sign a record deal with Interscope. They called me and my manager and said, "Yo, we want to sign, sit down with you. We like what we hear." I have my own album independently in stores in Tower Records. It was called Inside of Me. We did that. Me and my team, we made sure we just hit the pavement. That's back then when we were selling CDs out the trunk. Y'all remember that grind. Most don't remember that grind. Now it's all instant. It's instant, one button. We would actually hit the pavement, touching the people, getting out there. So that's when I just realized, you know what? I can do this acting thing, because as I was writing, it became so vivid to me. And I'm a vivid writer. And my music became scripts. And as I started writing more, the details started coming about. That's when I started channeling how to remember lines, scripts, because you got to remember, I'm an artist. So improv was my thing. I can get on stage and just rock a crowd right then and there. And that's a gift. That takes a certain gift, man.
But you're very gifted, and I think I love what you just said. The balance and the transformation from being a regular cat from the street, becoming a DJ and becoming an artist, and then into movies finally. So all these things are somehow connected. If you look, if you know what I'm saying, they are connected, because it can be a movie without sound. That's why you have soundtrack, right? So how would you define music? Best on the whole West Coast East Coast thing, from your perspective, what would you choose? Would you do both styles, the hardcore hip hop from the East Coast or the West Coast? What's your preference for you?
I gotta remain authentic to me. I'm a beast from the East, man. I'm from South Jamaica, Queens, New York City, man. I don't know how to be nobody else but S1. You know what I'm saying? The hazardous came about because I was always hazardous to the competition. That's why they call me S1 hazardous. But then I had to break it down. And I had to get to the point where it was like some has it, some don't. And that was the talent, that was the passion, that was the discipline, that was the skill. So that's why you see the Has always in the middle of Sean Has McDonald. And it's funny, my first movie, I spoofed P. Diddy. It's called Epic Movie. And this was crazy because I'm now, mind you, now I'm coming off the music thing, right? The deal didn't go as planned when I first moved to California. They wanted to shelf me. And I guess the fact that I knew too much of the business as a kid, I was kind of spoiled. I knew what I wanted, knew what I didn't want. So my first film got my SAG card, got my name in the credits, Epic Movie. I spoofed P. Diddy. And that felt kind of crazy because I'm like, wow, this is the music world I'm coming from. And then my big international commercial comes right after that. And it's a rap commercial. And I'm rapping about education. You know what I'm saying? So I made a lot of billions of kids go back to school. We want to get their education online.
That's important.
And, then you had Lil Romeo after me. You know, I did reality TV. Just to throw that in there. Real World was the first reality show popping, right? And then I got with BT, MC Light, and the staff over there, and we decided to do a show called The Boot. Yeah,
doing it. Actually, she's the voice that you hear on BET announcing.
There you go. And that was called The Boot. Yeah, so we did that, have fun with it, and then next thing you know, I see Ray J of Love. I see Flavor Love. I see all these shows coming out, kind of, catapulting on what we did. The show wasn't successful. It was like a couple runs on BT. They let it go. But the fact that everything kind of revolved around music for me was a blessing.
Amen to that, man. I am so proud of you, man. You know, it's such a refreshing, thought just to think, because I'm surrounded by cats who are, in the music thing. I'm surrounded by cats who've made it, and cats who are trying to get up, even those who are just dreaming. You know what I'm saying?
It's a grind, man. It's a hustle. It's a constant
grind, big time. Yeah, it's a grind. It's a grind. What would you say right now? First of all, before even transition, I want to shout out Miss Lean C. Holder, who just commented there. She just gave you some hearts here as you're speaking. I want to shout out Christina, who commented there. Marcus, some of the folks were talking about you here in the comments, and of course, very own Jenny Jones, also watching and seeing how the transformation is going from one person to the next.
Salute to my cast members, definitely, man. They showed up and showed out.
Yeah, it's one family, man. It's one family. So, speaking about movies now. So, do you prefer the small screen or the large screen, and why?
You know what? I mean, I'm just passionate about the craft, man. I just love what I do, and the fact that we can tell these stories through our ideas and paint these vivid pictures and breathe life into these characters. I prefer both because I got a couple films that we did before the pandemic. It's called Keys. I co-star in it along a great cast. You got Big Red, Hawthorne James, remember from the 5 Heartbeats?
Yes.
He plays my chief, and I play an undercover detective from New York City, Staten Island, and he's grimy. You know what I'm saying? He come from the streets. He's robbing hustlers, all that stuff. And then I just finished a film called The Vagrant, and I play an attorney. So that was cool. That was a shift for me coming from a crooked cop. Now I go to an attorney. So I love just channeling different characters. And let me tell you something. I done touched so many shows. If you see, if you look at my IMDb, I done had a spurt of different, highlights in my career where it was just a little bit, right? You see me, you got to see me get the familiar, but people haven't got really familiar with me just yet because I'm just getting warmed up. And if you see on my IMDb, I got over 59 credits, right?
Yes.
The fact that this business, and let me tell you something, a lot of people come to this town thinking I'm gonna get rich overnight. I'm gonna come to success. It don't happen that way. For some it do, and when it does happen, they don't appreciate it. They fly by night. The people that really put the work in, the grind, like Mark was saying earlier, about just having that passion to even want to take classes. Because a lot of people think it's just a natural thing. Oh, I can do it. I can act. I can remember lines. No, it's a whole technique that comes along with this. So, and I had to get that because I can't do that natural. You know what I'm saying? Being on stage my whole life, performing. So to transition into that, like to answer your question, I prefer both big screen and small screen.
Yeah, that's okay. I love it. I love the answer. But you know, so when we are passionate about something, you know, sometimes we take it for granted. I'll give you an example of myself. You know, you already know I cover, you know, the NFL games, right? So sometimes, you know, when you're doing that, when I'm in the moment, you don't quite appreciate it until when I sit down and I'm watching it on TV, I'm watching the game on TV. That's when, because now I can see it from a different perspective.
Yes.
And then when the season's over, you know, and I'm thinking, you know, sometimes I miss, you know, silly things such as the smell of the grass. You know what I mean? I miss the smell of the grass, you know, on the football field. You know, I miss the crowd, you know, the crowd, because when you're on the field, it's a different angle.
Yeah, it's a whole different frequency, it's a whole different energy. And to touch on what you said, too, I think it's like this with far as the business. I tell kids today too, learn everything about the business.
Right.
Learn the behind the camera, learn in front of the camera, editing, all of that. Because a lot of times we keep ourselves in this box. And that's why I tell people don't just label me an actor. Don't just label me an artist. I'm Superman of many talents.
Right.
And I want, you know what I'm saying? Because there's no limit, there's no ceiling on what I can do. And the fact that I wrote this song, Circus of Love, 2 years before this film even happened. Because I went through a real situation, sort of like a Fatal Attraction type of vibe.
Right.
The film just lined up. The stars aligned. The song is called Circus of Love.
Yeah.
And that's really about the movie. It's the same vibe, you know, a man telling woman he love him, you know, you feed her mind, all of this, and then you do her wrong and you leave a woman scorned. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was like right on time with everything we was doing. But I tell kids, never give up, man. My whole thing is to touch, move, and inspire people. That's it. If I touch you, I move you, I inspire you, I did my job in this business.
I love your energy, brother. I love your energy, and I'm excited about your future, man. You know, I can't wait for us to connect. You know, definitely when I'm back in LA, you know, next week and stuff like that. So, as we please don't leave, because we're about to bring in all the cast. You know, so you can have a dialogue. I know you miss your brothers and sisters. You haven't seen them in a while. But I want to do that. So as we transition on, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to comment. You know, I know you're taken by the stories that, you know, you're listening to, but these are folks who are here sharing and pouring what they've gone through. Please learn something from them. So, Brother Sean, you know, it's a pleasure, man, having you here. And we almost done. So please hang out in the back real quick. We'll be right back, and we'll talk to our next and final. We serve the best for the last. Jenny coming up. Yes, sir. All righty. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Channel ATV. This is Davis live here at the studio. I am so excited to have this last one here. Jenny is one of the folks that you're going to find very interesting because of what she loves to do. Let's bring in Jenny here real quickly. Jenny, it's good to see you, and it's good to have you as you join us in the studio here. For the folks that are joining you right now, watching you from all over the world, you know, what do they need to learn about you? I know your IMDb. I've checked it out. I've seen you on social media. You know, what do you have to say to the folks that are watching you right now?
So, hi to everyone. Thanks for having us on. I really, truly appreciate being here. And I think, you know, to sort of dovetail what Marcus was talking about, I started off, you know, I've been in entertainment over 30 years. My entire life. My first job, I was 8 years old, and it was dancing on a stage in front of, you know, 3,000 people at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion and the Orange County Performing Arts Center.
Yeah.
And I had to get a work permit, and I had to rehearse for an entire season, and I had to miss school and get out of school early and take the train up to LA to go do the show. And it was all very exciting. I grew up here in Southern California, and to me, the stage is my home.
Yeah.
So when I'm on stage, when I'm performing, it's when I'm personally most comfortable as a human being.
Yes.
And I became a professional dancer at a very young age. I was a professional dancer. I was a professional competitive snowboarder all through high school. When I decided to go to college, in between going to college, high school and college, I started directing. And my passion for directing was very early. I was probably 17. I directed a Samuel Beckett play called Crap's Last Tape. That was the first thing I ever directed. If any of you on here know theater, you know that's a very challenging play. And I fell in love with Beckett material. So I started off directing Samuel Beckett plays and really obscure plays at a young age. I moved to New York. I went to Fordham University. I double majored in English literature and theater directing. I worked in off-Broadway theater. I was stage managing, running light boards, like all through college. I was working. I was a working professional. I would go to school. I would take the train downtown. I'd be at dance class. It was just like nonstop working while bartending and trying to get A's. So, you know, that was kind of my experience living in New York. And I went to California Institute of the Arts up here in Valencia. I got my master's degree in directing for film, theater, and television.
Right.
After that, I went and started working as a development executive. So I spent a little over 15 years maybe working as a development executive at indie companies. I worked at companies like Stars Media. I worked at the film department, Exclusive Media. I worked on a lot of big feature films. I worked on that film Rush with Chris Hemsworth. So basically, I've seen from a 360 viewpoint, you know, how films get made. At that time, I was working 60 plus hours a week. I would read anywhere from 20 to 30 screenplays a week. My weekends were spent reading screenplays, developing screenplays, working with A+ directors, looking at dailies, giving notes on dailies, you know. So I was really like in the feature film world working, and I was miserable because I was being creative and I was exerting all my little creative energies and brains and time. And I wasn't actually creating anything that was mine. I wasn't actually using my voice. I wasn't using my artistic talents. You know, I would get to dance class at like 8:30 at night if I could, you know, dance till 10 p.m., get up for a 7 a.m. conference call. Like, and finally, at some point, I came to a breaking point. And it was when I had a job where I had a little more bandwidth. I started writing again, and I started writing screenplays.
Yeah.
And it was dipping that toe back into finding my own voice, where I sort of realized, you know, you can work on movies and not be artistic or creative. And there are a ton of people in this town with great jobs. I was one of them. You have health benefits, you get a company card, you get flown to Cannes. It's great. Like you go all over the world working on movies and you work in Hollywood.
Right.
But that doesn't make you an artist, and it doesn't mean you're making art. And so for me, when I went back to screenwriting and back to directing, I really quickly found my path. You know, it was like I said I was going to do this thing, and immediately I was lined up for
some,
you know, rewriting some feature films.
Yeah.
I don't think I can't hear you right now, but let me see. But yeah, so I can't hear you.
You can't?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
So I started writing feature films, directing. I directed a play. It was a one-woman show, and we won an NAACP award for it, which was for me a highlight, but also sort of not that I need validation, but it was validation that I was headed down the right path.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you know, I started directing and writing, and I haven't looked back. I've done a lot of consulting work on feature films. There's a lot of people who don't get credited on things, but they tell people how to fix their scripts and tell people who to cast and do all kinds of things like that.
Right.
So, you know, as a performer, I perform 2 to 3 times a week. I create hip hop music. I am an MC. I host shows. I'm really involved in the underground hip hop scene here in LA. And when I go to New York there. Yeah. And I also host a weekly hip hop radio show too. So I'm all over the place, but I will tell you, I'm always busy. And everyone who came before me, you know, all the castmates who are amazing, everyone who came before me said the same thing, which is it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
I can honestly say that, like, to anyone watching, it's all work. This is work right now being on here.
Absolutely.
We're here to promote a beautiful movie we all worked on together.
Absolutely.
It's a Monday night.
Yeah.
We're still working.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I can't hear you for some reason. I don't know if you're on mute.
Go ahead and log off and log back in. It's going to help out. Yeah. So go ahead
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. So sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So you talked about the hard work that's put in behind scenes and things like that. And that's something that you guys have in common, all of us, matter of fact. The consistency, you know, a lot of hours, you know, without looking at the financial aspect of it, you know, per se, you know. But for you, let's take a different turn. You know, now the days are different. The years are different. The pandemic came. Before the pandemic, you know, we were dealing with, you know, acting and producing and doing all these different things in a different way. But now, so what adjustment have you made after the pandemic? You know, when you just zero. So you're still doing the same thing, the same way you used to.
I'm still working probably even harder because now the work has come into the home. So, you know, so things, for example, I'll give you a good example, pitch meetings. I'm a creator. I have a couple of TV shows and I have 2 feature films I'm attached to direct right now.
Yeah.
So all those meetings in olden times, if we were going to go to the studio, you know, we would leave our house and go drive to Burbank or wherever and take the meeting with the people, wherever, you know, sit in traffic. And now it's so convenient. It's all on Zoom or wherever, you know, that I find that it's actually even harder to separate yourself from the work in these times. And I've found that, you know, during the pandemic, I was still doing live shows 2-3 times a week, whether it was me hosting a show for other artists to give them a platform. You know, I was still doing my radio show. I was still doing everything I was doing. And in fact, I shot a ton of, including Heaven's Revenge. I worked on a lot of movies during the pandemic because all these places are making more content than ever. So I actually found that I was out of my house on set for most of the pandemic, you know, which was good and bad. You know, I think being employed is always great as an artist. So for me, it's like, I'm happy when I'm working, right? When people say, let's hang out, to anyone watching, if you have time to hang out, you're not trying hard enough. I don't know what it means to hang out. People are like, let's hang out. Like hang out and do what? Are we gonna read something together? Are we gonna write together? Are we gonna throw like when I get on the phone with Marcus, for example, you know, the producer of the film, I love Marcus. I could talk to Marcus and hang out with Marcus for probably days, but he and I are immediately going in on what's the next thing we're gonna work on together. And I don't have time for people who aren't here on Earth to create, to bring positivity, to share voices, to share stories, to understand each other. Like, we're here to understand each other. That's why we're on Earth.
Absolutely. On that note, you know, so
understand each other.
Somebody has some compassion for you. They're saying they want to hang out with you. Shout out to Diz Inside. He's saying, let's hang out. Maybe he's trying to give you a little break, you know, so you don't have to be working all the time. But I hope
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I have plenty of fun in my life.
The
difference is if you don't find this fun, you don't need to be in the entertainment industry.
Gotcha.
Because when I go, you know, when I go drive an hour or 2 hours to go do a hip hop show and I'm driving there, I'm prepping, I'm getting on stage, I maybe rehearse, you know, whatever the scenario is, if that's not fun to you, you need to go find a different job because part of the job, even going on stage, people don't realize this. I think a lot of actors out there don't realize this. When you're going to do a film, for example, you know, you have to maybe change your appearance some way, right? That may take time. You may have to go on a special diet, a workout thing, whatever. You have to learn all your lines. You have to research all of the film. You have to, I mean, there's so much work that goes into it. And then if it's theater, you've got to rehearse. Like you have to, you know, I did a dance show last weekend. I'm a professional dancer still. I still dance in multiple jazz companies here. And I did a 3-minute dance. I rehearsed for 6 months for that 3 minutes on stage. I did a solo, 3 minutes. I rehearsed for 6 months. And when people in LA or, you know, younger generation, I don't want to throw in, I'm very young, I'm 24. And now they're casting.
I was gonna, yeah, you're 24, but you're 40 years
24. 24. But to
Right.
anyone out there, like I've heard people say to me, you know, if this acting thing doesn't work out in 4 years or 5 years, when people tell me like, what advice do you have for actors? I'm like, do a moral inventory of yourself. If there's anything else on earth you can do that you kind of enjoy, do that instead.
Yeah.
If you want to make money, go be something else, because this is not a business where you get to, in my mind, ever take your foot off the gas. Like, I don't know what it means to take I go on vacations, don't get me wrong. I do all kinds of fun things in my life, but like, there's always an undercurrent of like, you know, like if you're working on a feature film, right? The fastest I've ever seen a movie go into production is like a year. That's like,
that's the fastest. Yeah, that's the fastest. Yeah.
Most things like 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. There's scripts I wrote 10 years ago where the producers call me up. Oh, hey, we got this going. Okay, great. Talk to you in 5 years, you know?
No, I know, you know, I love your energy as well. I love the fact that you're doing so many different things, and you have so much energy flowing from left, right to back, front, you know, all over the place, right? That's great, you know. So, you know, if somebody's looking at you right now, you know, how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
I just doing my best.
Doing your best. Okay. So it sounds like life, like real life, you know, every day putting your best. Yeah. So
like
Jenny,
that's, you know, when you said legacy, like you asked someone, what do you want their legacy to be? And I was thinking that like we all just did our best with the talents that God gave us, you know, with the time. I always imagine, this is how I imagine it happening. One day, I won't be here, right? Someone, somewhere, God, whoever greets me, maybe it'll be my grandma. Shout out to Non.
Yeah.
They're gonna, when I get there, they're gonna say, show us what you learned.
Yeah.
You've been rehearsing for this moment your whole life. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna dance? Are you gonna sing? Are you gonna do it all at once? Are you gonna, you know, what are you gonna do? You're gonna show us your movie, your book, your kids, like what you're rehearsing your whole life, in my mind, is a rehearsal for when you no longer can rehearse. And that's when your performance is when you've gotten to the peak of your ability in every level. I'm just gifted at, like, I mean, Sean, everyone on here is gifted. I have a bunch of different tools, you know? I'm sharpening my tools every which way, you know? Every day. I danced for 3 hours today, you know?
Absolutely. So now transitioning on to the next level, Jenny, before we bring on the rest of the cast, you know, women have come very far, you know, even in Hollywood. You and I understand, you know, the struggles which were there, they're a little bit different. If you're a person of color, the struggles were different. If you're a woman, the struggles are different. So, you know, from your experience, since you got into the industry, what are some of the significant changes that we've made to be where we are today, and what do you think still needs to be worked on, you know, just to perfect, you know, the position of women in the industry?
I think, you know, like I always, shout out to the patriarchy. Love you, see you all out there, going strong. Good job, guys. But you know, I think that there needs to be a significant mind shift, and this is in all of the workforce, where half of the workforce needs to accept that they may need to step aside and that their jobs are not guaranteed because of their gender or, you know, their identity. And until people start to take ownership of that and really think about, why am I giving this person preference? Why am I giving that person preference? You know, having been an executive at a bunch of different companies, I can tell you the number of directors lists that I would look at, and they would say, "Oh God, can you just put a woman's name on there, because there's no women on there? Yeah, who do you want to just put one on there?" She's not going to do it, you know? And so I would get very discouraged as a director, you know? I would think, well, geez, I'm never going to stand a shot at this, you know, like how, but I think that it's not just men, it's women too, right?
Correct.
We uphold this system that does not work. And we've all seen in the past decades, it does not work for anyone. So I have friends who are male filmmakers, and you know, sometimes like I remember I was talking to a friend about a project I wrote, and I was like, why don't you direct it? You know, because I actually thought he'd be a good director for it. And he was just like, no, I'm going to produce it. You're directing it. It's upon women to take the opportunities, but it's also a graceful stepping aside sometimes.
Yes.
Because I think that a lot of times men don't step aside, and it's something as easy as, like, you know, for example, when I do projects and there's a male partner I'm working with, there's always this like deference to the male partner.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
people do it whether they want to or not. It's just how our culture is, because we ask her husband, her partner, her, you know, so people like have this mindset. So I think for all of this to change, everybody, male and female, need to just start acknowledging how they view male, female, well, any systemic thing that's happening right now. People need to look at how they view it and start to own their position in it. I have to look, if I'm looking at, you know, action directors or action actors or this role, or that I've written this role, why am I writing a man?
Right.
Why is this guy a man? I have to do that. That's my work, right?
Yes.
Can I, you know, so I'm not like blameless in any of this either. You know, I have to say, why am I writing a man?
Yeah.
Or why am I want a cinematographer? Why am I only looking at male cinematographers for my movie?
Yes.
Why, you know?
I like that. It shouldn't matter, right? If somebody's talented, it shouldn't come with a label to say we're looking for a female director or male director or a short director or a tall director.
No, they should only be looking for female directors. Hear me clearly. You should only be hiring female directors. Just like we should only be looking at female presidential candidates.
Right.
There, until I think it was RBG said it. When are there enough Supreme Court justices who are female? When they all are, because there's always been men. Right. So when every studio head is a female, and when every director nominated in the category is a woman, then the table will have turned completely.
Correct.
This is why nothing has changed. Nothing has changed in my mind.
I think we should try that, Jenny. We should try that. Now, I think I'm going to mandate you with this. You know, in your company, you should try to have like all female, you know, leadership and see how that works out. And then, you know, just everybody picks it up from you and we just keep going. Like Beyonce.
And there are film sets that do that. There are film sets that do that. Or you know, just, and I don't want to say all female, I mean, just diversity in general. I mean, go walk around. If anyone questions this, go walk around the studio and walk around the film sets, because like I said, I've been on a lot of film sets. Like, you ever look around you, who's there? And the only film sets where you're like, oh wow, what's going on here, are ones where they have made a very conscious decision of like, okay, we're gonna make this a diverse set. And that means all representation, inclusion of everybody. You know, it doesn't have to be all female. It has to be, you know, it has to be inclusive. And we're not, I mean, go walk into any, you know, business and look around, who's in charge, you know, who's at the table. And look, I work in music too. So I can tell you the number of shows I've been at where there have been other female MCs. Not many, you know. Like,
so you're definitely, you know, paving the way. And that's the reason sometimes you may exist for a reason that you don't even understand yourself. But God is putting you in those positions where you can at least start a conversation, just like we are doing right now. Some kid someday is going to be watching this and then, you know, listen to us and say, okay, they're talking about movies, but then it's much deeper than just, you know, reading your script and start acting, you know, because you're telling your story. You're also inspiring folks, you know, from a deeper level. So I'm going to buy everybody about 3 minutes to come back as I allow everybody to get situated. Jenny, go drink some water. When we come back, we're going to bring everybody in so you can actually get a chance to talk to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be right back here at Channel A TV.
Hello, my name is Russell Alfaro, and I'm the owner and director of Lifted Hypnosis Wellness Center here in Graham, Washington, USA. I'm also the co-owner and mental coach of the Seattle Bombers football team, also here in Washington. Here at Lifted Hypnosis Wellness Center, we do a couple of things. One of the things we do is clinical hypnotherapy, being able to bring the conscious and the subconscious mind together in order to help the individual perform at their peak in their life. Also, we have a biofeedback machine. I call it a biofeedback machine on steroids. We are able to take a peek inside the individual's bodies and be able to locate all the different stressors and help relieve the stress that they have in their body. Not only that, our biofeedback machine has quantum technology. Now, with that, we were missing something very, very important. We breathe air. Air is very, very important. Sometimes we don't get enough air that we need in order to heal injuries, be able to clear the toxins out of our body. I'm here to tell you that this here is the future to wellness. One of the things that we love about this multi-hyperbaric chamber is large enough, and it helps those individuals that are claustrophobic, that don't like tight spaces. This particular model, multi-chamber, is a 4-seater chamber along with a bed. We have 2 TVs in there. Basically, can take their mind off of what they're doing while they're getting their hyperbaric oxygen session.
Them. Big up to DC Productions. You don't know Sean Paul, there ain't no second guessing. Taking it to the limit and beyond. You know what I mean? Making them know it's the DC Productions. Got the flow. Yeah, man, keep it locked. Dirty.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Shout out to Sean Paul there, our longtime friend. Sean Paul has been there from the beginning. We love him. Shout out to everybody who's tuning in right now, watching us. We're getting ready to bring in all the cast from, the movie Heaven's Revenge. If you haven't seen it, ladies and gentlemen, just go to Tubi. You can find it. It's streaming on all platforms. So we are so excited to have everybody meet for the first time in a long time after they produced the movie. So we are so excited. If you're watching this, please consider subscribing to our channel. Consider subscribing to the folks that you're watching right now, getting and giving us, the entertainment, homes that we deserve. We may not even deserve sometimes, but they work hard to produce the movies that we can all enjoy at home. So I'm going to take a short break real quickly as everybody joins in. Stay tuned. As we come back, we'll talk to everyone in closing. You're watching Channel ATV.
Jackson how it feels to lie to me over and over and over again.
And now every man in the history of men are going to have to pay for a simple breakup. It's pathetic!
I don't think he
Why
would
would
like
you make
that
up a lie
very
like
much.
that and do something like that? But I'm his brother. We brothers, and you know how we get down. I just want to say what's up to him. Just look at him real quick.
All right, thank you for joining us. As you can see, we transitioned into the theater now because we're going to bring in everybody from their locations to make sure that we can say goodbye and say the final thoughts. Brother Marcus, welcome, my brother. It's good. Thank you so much. Are you having a great time to watch all the folks that you've worked with over the years to just hear their stories and stuff like that?
I'm loving it. I was just going to say, I'm learning so much about, all my people, and just so much love is coming through from all of your words. It means just so much to have everybody here.
Yeah.
The ones who couldn't make it today, including the star Lanice Adams, just want you to know that, this started as a dream for her. This was something that she wanted to use as a platform to launch her career, and in the process, you brought so many others with you, and I definitely look forward to working again with all of you, and just so excited for this opportunity to come together today. So thank you so much, Davies, and thank you all cast members for being a part of this.
Absolutely, man. I think you can feel, we plan for a shorter period of time, but we just let everybody, say what they need to say. And I think there might be a need for folks to come back and really, share the stories, because when you show up doing a movie, you just do your part and off you go. You do your part, and sometimes we forget that these are folks, these are human beings who've gone through things and struggles and triumphs, and tribulations, if you will. But we're still going as a community. So I'm very thankful, man, for the opportunity just to share your platform with everyone. So without waiting too much time, let's bring in Brother Robert here. Brother Robert, I know that you have a lot of things going on, but you're still here join. What have you learned from listening from others? What have you learned today?
I learned a lot, as Marcus said. It's Ernest and I have known each other many, many years, and
yes,
it's fun to hear his story, his journey, and all of our journeys that are continuing. And so it's been really wonderful, and I'm loving hearing that almost everybody in the group is doing their own films, as I am too. And I'm in Oklahoma right now, where I've done 5 movies in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
and some big movies, but they're starting. Oklahoma is now starting to compete with Georgia and Louisiana and New Mexico for being a great place for filmmakers to come. So I'm throwing that out to my group here that whatever projects you're doing, you might want to think about Oklahoma.
Absolutely. That's incredible, man. That's incredible. If you guys are in Seattle and you're watching this, you can join this group of wonderful and talented folks. You know that there's a lot of people that are trying to break into the movie industry. I meet a lot of different talents, everywhere I go, Robert. And, sometimes people just need the opportunity,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. They just need the opportunity. And Marcus, for you, if someone is watching this right now and they're trying to get in touch with you, how can they connect with you to get just a little bit of mentorship or even just some sense of direction on where they need to go? What would you say?
The best way to reach me is through my production company, Urban Renaissance Entertainment.
Right.
So you can find me at urbanrenentertainment@gmail.com. That's my email address. We also have a website, www.urbanrenaissanceentertainment.com. Also, you can find me on Facebook, either directly as my full name, Marcus Snell Jamal Ham, or Urban Ren Ent, ENT, LLC.
There you go. There we go. I think they can see it on the screen there. If, ladies and gentlemen, you're interested to connect with any of these casts to support or to connect, please feel free to reach out to us or Marcus. Like you said, we can encourage you, at least give you some direction, through the experience. And Robert, I'm excited to bring in your buddy here, Brother Ernest. There he is. You guys can reconnect, after a long time. Yeah. So how does it feel, Brother Ernest, to see folks that you've known for many years and you're still pushing and you're still moving forward? How do you feel? Where's your spirit? And I know you always have a smile, but how do you really feel?
I'm not always smiling, but I'm smiling that I'm on this show. But yeah, no, it's great to see and hear the stories. Marcus is just I admire him so much. I all the young guys, I'm the old guy now, but all the young guys coming up and they're doing their movies, they're doing their thing. They're not waiting for anybody to give them anything. And I think that is powerful, and I love that. They said, hey, we want to do a movie, let's make it ourselves. And I think back in my day, we just thought that was so a few people were doing it, but we just thought, oh, the expense would be too much. It scared us. It shocked us.
Right.
And now everybody is doing that. They can make movies on iPhones. I just love it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And Robert is like, he's still an inspiration to me, man. He's always had that drive and that power. He's always up to something, man. And don't forget me, man. Sometimes you're doing all this stuff. Don't forget your boy.
Never, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I remember. I just a quick story of it. He bought a house back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm a struggling actor, and he said, "Hey man, I got a little house." You
Right.
know what I mean? Robert was just ahead of his time, man, and love him,
Absolutely. You gotta love Robert, man. But I'm very, very happy that you guys can reconnect in this fashion. Let's bring in Joanne, and Joanne brings a lot of experience as well and a lot of excitement. We gotta have women that are strong in our midst. So Joanne, how has been your experience today for you?
It's been great. It's exactly what I expected it to be, just a wealth of wisdom and knowledge and experience. Most of all, a mutual love of the craft.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying the same thing. It's the craft, it's the artistry, it's being real, it's being passionate about it. I came into this field, late in life.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because
Absolutely.
I'm passionate about this. I just believe you should love what you're doing and do what you love. And I'm experiencing that. And I think some people are afraid of failure, and some people are even afraid of success.
Mm-hmm.
I think the worst thing you can do is be afraid of experiencing life.
Right.
I don't want to go out with those what ifs, what if I'd done this and what if I'd done that? Do it. Just, go
Just
for
do
it.
it. Yeah.
It's work, but it's hard getting dressed up and memorizing those lines. But I tell you what, when you get on set, boom, you don't think about that.
Yeah.
I gave birth to children, and let me tell you,
Mm-hmm.
I was feeling some pain, but oh my goodness, the joy that comes after.
Joy comes in the morning, right?
Same thing. Just do it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Go for it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of your age, of your gender, of your ethnicity, of any disabilities. Don't be afraid of anything. Just be afraid of not giving it your all and being who you want to be. That's what you have to fear. Fear yourself and not giving yourself credit for going for what you want to do.
Yeah, I don't think you could have said it any better. That's very well said, Joanne. And we're going to bring in Sean here as well. Sean, thank you for sticking in. I know that you're in the middle of something, but you still made the time to make sure that you reconnect with your friends here. Thank you for being here. How was the experience for you?
Man, it was a blessing, man. It was a joy ride. Like I said, this journey is never ending. It's always, continuing. Everybody showed up on this set, man, and we all just met on this set. Everybody's stories was inspiring. Just their testimony, everything we went through, you have to be tested to have testimony. So once you have the testimony, you can testify to somebody else trying to follow behind you. And everybody here on this panel was great. I learned a lot from everybody working with them. And the experience is just I'm so excited because I know the best days are yet to come. So I'm excited. I'm just excited for the future, baby. We just getting warmed up.
Yeah. We gotta love the passion that Sean brings. So Jenny, we didn't forget about you. So let's welcome you as well, my friend.
Salute to everybody.
Absolutely. And Jenny, what do you think when you look at such a talented cast of folks, working with you, and how does the future look for you, moving forward?
Like, I'm looking at this screen, and I think, while we all appear in the same movie, this is the first time we've all got to share a screen together.
Yes.
So this is sort of our ensemble debut together. And I'm looking at everyone thinking of a million different projects that we could all be in together and create together, And so to me, that's the like most exciting thing about doing a project is the people you meet. And I'm truly starstruck by all of you. Like you all make me, hearing what you had to say made me starstruck. And I realized, okay, I've been in a movie with them, but I didn't get to like dig in and play with them.
Right.
So now I'm like, I want to go play with all of you. And that to me is like, that's why we're here. Right?
Oh, wait a minute. So, Jenny, in other words, you said you can create a little bit of time to hang out, right? Remember that story that you said earlier?
Well, we're hanging out right now, right?
Hanging out right now. That's we work. But like Jenny said earlier, man, when you love what you do, it's work. Like she said, yo, when the moment you stop loving this or you start feeling anxiety or intimidated or go get another job, go keep your day job, follow another passion, because this right here it's only made for the strong, baby, and your hustle gotta match up.
Absolutely.
If you ain't got hustle for this, or you gonna be on Skid Row downtown, baby. So you gotta make sure that you got the passion for this and you corner the market when you're not up, because you're gonna have an up and you're gonna have a down in this business. Absolutely. It's a rat race. So but the thing is to embrace it, love it, because as artists, we don't get to embrace the moment because we're always looking for the next. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just gotta sit back and smell the roses and the fruit and say, man, look how far I've come. And salute to all of you. I tilt my hat to all of you. Marcus, you the man. Thanks for seeing my vision. Thanks for seeing the talent. Big shouts out to Lanice. Just to give you a little preview, I won a couple of awards, but the most award that I was proud of was my Vanguard Award. And that's when I met Lanice Adams, and she seen it right there. She said, "You are Fred." Wow. And I know what she was talking about. We here, baby. Salute to all of you.
Thank you so much for giving her flowers while you can and while she can still smell them, you know. So that's incredible. So before we give everybody a moment to say their last words, I want to address a little bit of an elephant in the room. So, social media came and is here to stay. It looks like it. So how is everybody doing? Let's start with our brother Ernest here, and then we go to Robert, then Jenny, and then Joanne, and then everybody else. So brother Ernest, how are you dealing with social media to keep up with everybody else? Tweeting and hashtagging and all that stuff for you. How's the experience for you?
I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on everything. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. My kids set it up.
Okay.
And so but I mean, I would be all day reading all that stuff if I get like I'm not. It's not trying to brag, but I get a lot of response from social media, and I go through it not every day, but as much as I can. But I'd be there all day doing that. But it's a different age. It's something that look at those Kardashians and all those people. They're out there. They're selling and making money somehow with all that stuff. So it's the way of the world. Even though technology kicks me in my butt, I got to straighten up and go with it because that's just the way it's going. So that's how I'm dealing with it.
Yeah, shout out to your kids for stepping up and helping you, because sometimes they're part of
my kids and grandkids. Give me that computer. There you go. I'm like, what? I feel like my dad when I used to tell him, "Oh man, you can work a VCR. You can do it." And he was just, it's killing me. So now it's a different day. I'm my dad.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What about you, Robert? What time do you spend? How much time do you spend on social media, and when do you do it? Do you have a consistent time that you do it, or do you just randomly just check your phone and keep it up with that?
I think it's pretty random, but I'm as technically challenged as Ernest is. But I will say that it is a reality that it's IMDb used to be the only kind of gauge, and I've been on movies where the producers are literally looking at your number on IMDb, and so I try to keep that up. I'm not very good about that either, but I've got a few of my reels up there, and I've got and that has enabled me to get work. But I will say, I'm a big Facebook guy. So if anybody wants to reach out, Facebook's my thing, and Facebook has kept me in touch. I mean, I follow things that Ernest are doing, Marcus, Jenny, I mean, everybody, and I just I love it because it's I've reached out to big people. I'm grateful to have friends that are on there that I've said, listen, I hope I'm not being breaking some protocol, but I know you're doing this movie. Any chance I could throw my name in the hat? And it's more often than not been a fruitful try. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love Facebook, but
that's great. So hopefully you get a check from Facebook after this. We
buy some stock. Buy some stocks.
I love it too.
Buy some stocks.
I'm just saying, yeah, I've had the opportunity to do some really cool stuff with Facebook. We have Facebook offices here in Seattle, so sometimes when they come up with new products, so I would randomly get, I don't know how they do it, but they just send me a message and I'll physically go to the office. And they give you a computer, then I do my reviews, and then I leave. And then they adjust based on how much review we're giving them. So just the experience of that, for me was really cool, But Jenny, for you, we know that you're still young. You're still 21, 24, like you said earlier, So what has been the experience for you when it comes to social media? I know you're very active. When I got to your IMDb, I was very clear of who you are and what you do. Then I went to your Facebook. To your Instagram, then I got lost because now there's like you upside down, like I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I just left it alone. I said, you know what? I'll just talk to her when I see her. so how are you balancing everything? And which platform is better for you?
So Instagram is where you should find me, JENIANNE Jones, Jenny Ann Jones. And I'm a one-way Instagrammer. I look at social media as an advertisement for what I do. And so everything you see me do on there is what I do. Right. So I'm very seldom posting opinions about things or whatever. I've got lots of opinions. We can have them when we hang out. But when I'm putting stuff on there, it's to reach out to collaborators. And I get more work off of, I thought martial arts was nerdy. I would never post my martial arts. I thought that was just such a nerd habit because I'm a girl and people made fun of me. I put up my martial arts videos and suddenly every rapper was like, can you come do that in my music video? And I'm thinking to myself, that's like me. That's my workout. In my mind, and then I realized like, this is the culture that we live in, which is like, if you're not showing people what you do, they're not psychic. So I look at it as like, when I'm putting stuff up there, here, if you like it, cool. If you don't like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Joanne, with your social media, if somebody comes at you sideways, do you respond or do you just block them? Or how do you deal with that? If at all you're on social media.
I am on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I keep it simple, Joan Moten. I learned a while ago that you can't win an argument with ignorant people. Well, I don't argue with ignorant people.
Right.
I just let them go their way. I've learned through age and wisdom to do my thing. I say I don't apologize for my feelings because I'm very opinionated.
Yeah.
But who you see today is who you saw yesterday, and that's who you're going to see tomorrow. I don't change. I'm always the same.
Authentic. I love it.
Love it.
You don't have to like me, but I'm not going to let you disrespect me.
I hear that.
There you go. There you go.
But I also understand that you can disagree and still be respectful.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's my choice. If I don't like what you're saying, I don't have to tolerate you. I don't have to deal with you. It's very simple to me. It's very simple. I think people make it so complex. I just keep it real and keep on stepping.
Absolutely. No, we love it, man. We love it. Joanne, for being here, it's been a very interesting time because we're seeing a lot of different, energy, a lot of different history, a lot of different backgrounds, but there's something that's consistent. It's from everybody who's on this group right here. It's the tenacity to continue on, to continue and pressing forward. Even when you fall, you still fall forward, you keep going. And Brother Sean, I know you have a lot of energy yourself as well, coming from the streets and making all the way to where you are now. How are you keeping up with social media when it comes to just music and movies?
To answer your question, I have
Yeah.
a slogan.
Yeah.
I was raised by OGs, not IG, right? So what I mean by I was raised by OGs, I'm not from this era of IG, instant gratification, bots, liking you, right? Having opinions.
Yeah.
I'm from the raw, authentic, cut to the chase, right? But during this time, this new culture, I had to adapt. My kids set it up. You know what I'm saying? Like Ernest said, I had to have my kids. He introduced me to Facebook, Instagram, and all that. Set it up, and then I started, just connecting with a lot of people. I'm still not too savvy. I'm on there. I post and I go. I don't like to scroll, keep falling down a rabbit hole. You could be the old thing, right?
Right.
So my thing is, like Jenny was saying, it's a good way to display what we do, because people don't know, they're not psychic. So once you promote what you do, people can kind of get an idea, get a grasp of it. Certain people know how to work it. Don't get me wrong. These young kids, they get on there, they do these little clown videos, become influencers, then they verify the next week. Let me tell you something. I've done movies, commercials, nationals, all of that. My new page ain't verified yet. They said I have to go do it and I have to go through the loop. So I'm not even worrying about it. I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna get on a hot big show. I'm gonna get really sizzling and popping, and I'm gonna let the studios do it. That's it.
There you go. There you go.
That's good.
Well, Sean, folks like myself, we assist, folks doing it to that, because for me, I don't do it for myself because then I have to move differently. You see what I'm saying? You have to understand how, the social media platforms are created. It's the same thing, like right now, if just a little advice to everybody here, when you see Facebook or Instagram, of course, Facebook owns Instagram, we know that. And they come up with new products, jump on that new product.
Yeah.
That's where they send all the algorithms. So like right now, it's all about the reels. So go back into your archives of short videos, short advice, whatever you do, get throw them there just a minute on reels, and you'll be surprised.
Exactly. And not to cut you off, let me get my handle just so we add it. That's Sean McDonald. That's SHAWN McDonald. MCDONALD_has. And that's my website, www.seanhasmcdonald.com.
Absolutely. We're gonna, you're gonna be found. You're gonna be found as people are working out from all over the world trying to follow you. Watch just over a period of time and see how much interaction you have with people. And I think after this, we'll figure it out on how we can do it, whether it's feature one person at a time or two, or even as a group. Just so people can engage with us and continue to grow. And Marcus, we saved the best for last this time around as well. How is your social media going, and how have you used it to empower the movie? That everybody's talking about right now, Heaven's Revenge.
Yeah, the experience of being a producer really made social media just a whole nother monster for me. Sean mentioned about scrolling and everything, and now when you're promoting, you're on it constantly. I mean, I wake up to it. I'm constantly sharing and boosting now. I'm putting money into the marketing. Making sure that we just get more and more eyes on the project. It really takes a lot, to get an independent film seen by a larger audience. And at the same time, what you realize is that the sky is the limit. I mean, even us doing this right now, we're reaching out to Europe, to Africa, all these people who are watching. And I mean, it's incredible to have everyone have been able to have this opportunity to really discuss their careers, because really it's almost like, even if you know nothing about the movie, just seeing the quality that are attached to it has to inspire someone to say, I know this movie's good.
Absolutely.
Hey, and what Marcus said, not to cut you off, he said the sky's the limit. Let me tell you something. The sky is just a beautiful view.
Yeah.
The sky is just a beautiful view. There's no limits to what we're going to do or what can be done. It's just a beautiful view. That's it.
Absolutely. No, very well said. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching us right now, we're just about to close. We had the privilege of having all the cast from the very, very good movie, Heaven's Revenge. I watched it a few times myself with my family. If you haven't seen it, please go out there and check it out. Those of you that are waking up from overseas, trying to connect with us, please take your time. visit all the IMDb's for all the cast that are featured today. You find and you learn a lot about what they do. So as we come to an end, I want to give everybody an opportunity to say goodbye and have about 30 seconds of your time, please, so you can share where people can connect with you. So we want to make sure that folks can learn from you, because there are a lot of people with questions. Beginning from the top here, Jenny, please, any last words from you, please, in 30 seconds?
Yes, you can find me at JENIANNE Jones. You can find me at jennyjones.com. And to anyone out there, just, find what you love to do and do that thing. And if it's this, then you have a whole bunch of people on here you can reach out to and ask questions of, including myself. So JENIANNE Jones. Thank you so much for having us on. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Jenny. Let's go to Robert here, my brother. Any last words from you, sir, and how can the viewers connect with you?
My email is hmfilms@mac.com. That's my little company, Hail Mountain Films, and I'm on Facebook and IMDb. I've got a few movies coming out soon, so hopefully they'll see that, and hopefully I play the detective in Heaven's Revenge, and hopefully you'll watch that movie soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here, Robert. We are in support of your projects, man. Anytime you need us to come and support you and cheer you on, please let us know. Thank you so much for being here. And let's go here to my brother. I know our football talk is not over, but one of these days, man, one of these days, hang in there. You might
I don't know if I'll be living, but one day, Lions in the Super Bowl. That'll be the day. I don't know. Yeah. But I'm in Ernest Harden Jr., ERNEST HARDEN Jr. On Facebook as well as Instagram and Twitter, and so that's how you find me. And look out for my new movie Sweetwater, about Sweetwater Clifton. It'll be out next year during basketball season this time next year. So it should be a really good one. It got a lot of people: Eric Roberts, Richard Dreyfuss, and just a lot. It's a great Jeremy Piven. A lot of good, great cast. So.
Amen.
There you go.
Yeah, we can't wait, man. We're excited, man. We can't wait to see you in the next movie, and we appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the cast in Heaven's Revenge.
Oh, thank you, Lanice, for casting me. I appreciate it so much. You and Marcus, you guys are the greatest.
Absolutely. And for you, Miss Joanne, if you can, any last words, please? How can people connect with you? And thank you. You look lovely tonight. How can people stay in touch with you?
Well, I'm under Joan Moten on Facebook and Joan Moten under Instagram. Right now, I just want to take a minute to say thank you to Marcus and Lanice for casting me as Marcus, as Aunt Virginia. I'm actually playing Jackson's aunt in the movie. Be on the lookout for A New Life, which is a film I'm in by Choice Skinner. I also want to tell my senior sisters, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go for what you want. Give yourself permission to be happy. Give yourself permission to do what you want to do. And just recognize that you owe it to yourself to take care of yourself. We take care of everybody else. Take care of yourself too. Love you and know that it's okay. It's your responsibility to yourself. So that's all I have to say. Love you.
Words of wisdom. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you very much, brother. Sean, any last words from you?
Oh man, I just want to tell everybody, man, keep following your dreams. I know it sounds cliche, but love what you do, believe in you. Never give up, man. When that moment just kick in, when you really just feel like giving up, push a little harder. Because that's when that door, and don't be afraid of the doors closing, because God protects you from things sometimes that ain't for you. You know what I mean? Some doors that's going to open for you are going to be perfect, aligned for you. Amen. And, I just want to tell people, man, just treat people how you want to be treated. This business is all about relationships. Never burn no bridge, because you're going to have to cross that bridge sooner or later, once again, sometime in this business, because it's a small university. We all run into each other. So like I said, just treat people kind, have respect. Keep your integrity on your shoulders at all times. Stand 10 toes down, and know who you are before you get in this business. Because when you get in this business and don't know who you are, you're going to be all over the place. People pull you this way, that way, that way, that way. You won't know where you're headed. Know your strengths in this business and know your weaknesses. And like I said earlier, you can find me everywhere as Sean SHAWN has. It's always has in the middle, not just Sean McDonald. It's Sean has McDonald, and you can Google that, and all my IG, Facebook, everything will come up for the people to follow back. Salute to the cast once again. Salute to you. Thanks for having me on this show. And I continue to be great. And as I think I speak for all of us, we're going to continue to be great and love what we do. And the sky's not the limit. It's just a beautiful view. Salute.
We appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for bringing energy. Thank you for the words of wisdom for the folks that are watching us right now. And Brother Marcus, any last words as well as we come to the end of the show here? Thank you so much for taking your time, and just everybody was patient and just enjoying each other's company. So thank you so much. Any last words, man, and anything you want to say to this group of men and women who've been so gracious to be part of your project and continue on as friends and as family? So what do you have to say to them?
All right, so I have 3 big thank yous that are actually announcements. So the first one is for all of the fans who have reached out, who have watched this movie, who have, told me they've watched it again and again. They've invited people over to have parties. For those folks who have, just truly fell in love with Heaven's Revenge, I have a opportunity coming up with Mr. Davies here. He's actually going to have me back on the show in about a week, and we're going to reach out and have contestants, fans of the film, and do a trivia contest. We're going to do it just in the same format that we're doing right now. And the winners are going to win both T-shirts and movie posters of the film. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and it's our way of saying thank you to all of those diehards out there who have enjoyed this movie, giving it to you. And also, we talked about aspiring actors. Urban Renaissance Entertainment, the company that I run, is not just a production company. I'm also hosting a intensive 1-week for actors of film and television. It's going to be in an actual studio in Burbank. So you're going to not just learn how to act, you're going to learn how to act on set. And the reason I'm doing this is because we're looking to expand. You just heard, all of us actors, our paths cross constantly, and we need people to come in and know what they're doing, because the worst thing you can ever do is get an opportunity and not be ready. And this is July 18th to the 24th. It's 2 sets of workshops. They're both 4 days each, so you choose which one works best for you. We're doing it for all age groups as well. So just go to my website, urbanrenaissanceentertainment.com, to take a look at those flyers that we're posting here. Information so you can decide if this is for you. We're looking for A-list actors, meaning actors who are out here going all in, who are looking to seriously take this industry by storm. And we have big projects coming up, and they're all collaborative works. Revenge was a collaborative with Lenise Adams and Kristen Lohman. So all of the projects that I do comes from my interactions with people. And I'm looking forward to projects with Sean, with Jenny,
yes, sir,
Chris, Joan, Robert. We're all going to be doing more work together. Kind of the Adam Sandler,
yeah.
So I'm used to seeing these faces, because we're always going to be something different about them in every story.
Yeah,
so versatile, also powerful. And we all have stories to tell, so it's all going to come from different, parts of our spirits, different parts of, times in our lives. So, just keep your eyes open for us, because we're coming, and we're already here, as a matter of fact. And last but not least, I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Lovey Ray Johnson, who's director of The Sins, Seminole Indian Negro Scouts. And this is a film that actually came from him watching this movie. He came out to a festival and saw it in the theater, and immediately cast me as the lead character, Adam Payne. Real Seminole Indian soldier in the 1800s. So I just came from riding horses this past weekend. So this is going to be as authentic as it gets. It's going to be an amazing period piece. about this true story of these American Indian Negro Scouts.
That's dope.
Look out for them very soon.
That's dope. Congratulations, bro.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations, brother. Congratulations. I remember you were telling me behind scenes at the awards when I met you, and you explained to me about the concept, and I was like, man, that sounds really, really dope, you know. And I'm glad that you're seeing it through, and I'm almost positive that you're gonna get to work with some of these cast that we have here, you know, depending on who's available and things like that, because this is just a great group of talent. So thank you everybody for joining us. It took us a while, but you know what? There's no way I cut this in half or anything like that. It was amazing to have everybody here, and you guys, we are here as a community to support you. Anything that you need moving forward, we appreciate you so much. I hope you can hang out with us a little bit in the back there for just like a couple of minutes so we can say our goodbyes. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having us, and thank you for watching. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you, guys. Salute everybody. God bless everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.